Hi, this is Craig Lane with Video Blog Week 20. We're going to entitle this The Elemental Energies in Sitting by the Fire. I was at a leadership training for the Mankind Project last weekend, and upon returning, one of the things I did to close out a portion of my life was to take some things and burn them in a fire. And one of the things I noted about sitting by this fire for a couple hours was that we have a certain relationship with the elements, i.e., we have a certain relationship with fire, and fire has been spoken of by many different traditions over many, many thousands of years, as has water, as has earth, as has air, are four primary elements the Native Americans would put on the quote unquote medicine wheel, or the wheel of life. And Chinese medicine has their own version of this. Ayurveda has their own versions of this. The old Western eclectic herbalists have versions of this. Greek and Roman medical health people have versions of this. So as I was sitting by the fire, I was noting that there are various forms of fire in today's world, and one of those is the television. Electricity is a type of fire, energy, and our mind is also a type of fire energy, if you will. So sitting by the fire and noting that we can have a relationship with it. In other words, sitting by the river, we get a relationship with the element of water and what that means for us. And what it means for me is sitting by the fire, I see mirrored in the burning up of some old papers and the burning up of some things I wanted to let go of. And in the process of watching them burn, there's a grieving process of letting go. That's what fire does. It consumes things. And so I noted that a lot of my evenings, I've taken it for granted in that sitting by a computer or by a television, I no longer listen or watch television through cable, just when I'm at people's homes, mainly sports. But that's it's an information network, and so there's a transmission coming in, and I noted that it's a sort of a form of programming, if you will, and so I decided that part of my life is needing to be close to nature, and the element of fire is people used to sit by the fire and tell stories, right? And the fire that people sit around now is the fire of the television, or we have light bulbs, right, and there's fire there, and candles, and having a fire has decreased. Not that I'm saying we should go back to the old ways, but we may have lost touch with some of our primal information networks, which is the earth, the universe, the galaxy, that there are things that are part of life that we have sort of moved our perception away from. And when we do that, I think we lose touch with the parts of ourselves that are connected to a deeper form of life and a nurturing form of life. And we get to be part of, when we turn away from that, we get to be part of a vast experiment. So I'm going to name off a few things that I see in the fire element going on these days. One is the cell phone. Another are Wi-Fi signals. Another is radiation from the nuclear power plant in Japan circling the globe now. Another is electricity and the energy they put off. Smart meters, that's about 5 or 6 already. And we could easily name off a number of things more. Radio waves, microwaves, sitting in front of the computer emanates, sitting in front of the television emanates things. So you see my point here is that we're part of kind of a vast experiment, and the people that have set this up may not have thought this out in terms of safety to humans, or the more insidious conspiracy based is that the people at the top of the food chain do know, and that they've purposely done this to keep people sick and programmed. But I don't know which it goes, and I don't want to go there tonight. The reframe is that we can go still have a healthier balance. And so one of the things I noted over the weekend was sitting around with a large group of men in leadership training, was men nurturing other men, men being accountable with other men, men summoning in accountability, summoning warrior energy and saying, you need to step up to meet your goals, and men summoning lover energy, which is getting in touch with their feelings, men summoning their sovereign, their king, and seeing the big picture, men summoning their inner magician to see the possibilities of what's available instead of just plugging on ahead in the Groundhog Day of 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's where I think many people are at, is sort of fed up and sick of the same old day to day. And there's a tipping point coming. I don't know when that is, but getting back in touch with spending time by the ocean or the river or a lake to get in touch with the water element. I know that I've done that many times in my life, and there's many insights that come. It's like sitting by a fire. There's many insights that come there. Sitting looking at the sky, or just sitting with eyes closed and getting in touch with the air element, getting in touch with the earth element, which is like exercise, or going for walks in nature, or working with the soil, plants. And then we get in touch with, naturally, with the things they provide us. It's sort of an inside out job. If we look from the outside in, we may not get the same amount of information as if we realize that all of this out here is a mirror of what's going on in our being. I don't want to put just this, because our being is not in our head. We may identify ourselves as awareness comes from the head, but it actually doesn't. Awareness is non-localized, and you don't have to take my word for it. Go see for yourself. Sit with your eyes closed and inquire. See if you can find the me you call me. You can see a hand, but as you go deeper into this process, you will find that. You will not find a place of awareness. You won't find a localized entity. So, but that fire is always burning. Something's aware, and then the fire is that awareness itself. So, sitting by the fire, we used to listen to these inner fires instead of listening from the outside in of what we should and should not do. So the value in what we're doing here is just to question, just to see that there's something deeper that comes in from nature, from life, from just staring at the clouds, having those quiet moments, and taking a look at how we respond in interactions with others, how they respond to us, seeing reflection. I had to close this off tonight, so I have a few others I'd like to do, video blogs. My teacher talked about sometimes we have an insight, and then life will provide us with a way to embody that insight. So I had a chance today to do one more thing and cause myself to have some strain getting from one place to another. And instead I decided that because of what had happened in a person missed an appointment with me because he tried to cram too many things in, and he ended up coming late for our appointment by a half hour, which I had left after 15 minutes of waiting. And so I had a moment where I thought, I can do one more thing. But then I caught myself and I realized I'm going to show up potentially, if there's traffic, I'm going to potentially show up late for this other important appointment for me. And then I'm going to pass the pain body because him being late caused a whole interaction of things with me, of frustrations, and we don't need to go into it now. But then I realized that I needed to stand up for what I believed in and ground that insight of, oh yeah, I was just talking about how with a friend about how doing one less thing is so much more helpful for me than doing one more thing. And then life said, here you go, here's a chance to sort of embody that insight. So instead, I decided just to not do one more thing and go straight to my destination, and got there just at the perfect timing, and everything felt like it was in the flow. So that's one of those insights that often comes where the light bulb goes on and goes, oh, look, I'm presented with a choice. So this is Craig Lane with Health Alchemy video blog, week 20. There will likely be a number of ones not preceding, going after this. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And this is the elementals, and there'll be a number of more about this. Take good care. Healthalchemy.com, HEALTHALKEMY. Healthalchemy.com. Craig Lane signing out.